Alright, so this video will be about finding the percent given the part of the part and the whole using a proportion. So this is the same equation that we saw in the previous video by Miss Vivian. A fraction is equivalent to another fraction. So let's look at the example we're doing here. Jim got 15 questions out of 20 correct on his test. So 15 would be the part in this case, and 20 is the whole since there are 20 questions on the entire test. So now this is equivalent to the other side of the other fraction in the proportion. So in this case, we don't know what the percent is equal to. So, and this is what we're finding, the percent over 100. In this case, it's equivalent to 15 over 20, which might be easy for us to do in our head, but we'll pretend we don't know, so we'll just do it. Alright, so we don't know the percent, so let's go down and write the denominator is 100. And then for now, I think instead of using a variable, we'll just start off using a question mark for now, since we did that previously. Now, you have to think in your head, 20 times what would give you 100? So we would multiply it by, so we would multiply it by 5 in this case, and then whatever, since we're multiplying the denominator by 5, we would have to also multiply the numerator by 5, because remember, when we multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number, it equals to 1, and when we're multiplying by 1, we're not changing the value of anything. It's still going to equal the same thing. So now we need to know what 15 times 5 is, so let's do it on the side. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 equals 7. So in this case, Jim got 75% of the questions correct on his test. Alright, so is there another way to get the answer? Yes, there is. Let's look at how we would do it the other way. The other way, towards the end of the video, Miss Vivian introduced it to us. So let's take a look at how that was done. Let me get rid of all this first. Alright, now I'm going to write the same equation again for the proportion. So it's going to be 15 over 20 equals, instead of a question mark, we'll use the x for the variable. So x over 100. Now we are going to have to cross multiply to find out what x would equal, since both sides are equal. So what we would do is 15, since it's the part, let's look back at the original thing first. So part over whole equals percent over 100. We're cross multiplying. So we're going to do 15 times 100, which equals to 1,500. So let me circle that for you. Alright, so 1,500 will equal 20 times x. Remember, when we write a variable right next to a number, it means that we're multiplying. So this shows that we're multiplying, but however, for now, I'll include parentheses just to make it easier to show that we're multiplying until we get used to it. So I'll add my parentheses. Alright, another way to write this would be writing it 20 dot for multiplying. So I'll make a dot for times x, which equals to 1,500. Okay, let's go to a tiny example before we do this to refresh your memory about how we're doing this. So let's go to the side and let me write a problem that we could work from. So let's do 2 times x equals 8. Alright, since we're multiplying 2 times x, to find x we would divide, right? So x equals 8 divided by 2, which equals 4. And if you check your work, 2 times 4 equals 8. So in the same way, we'll go back to our original problem, and to find x, we'll do 1,500 divided by 20. So this might be hard doing in our head, so let's do long division on the side. Alright, Now, 150 goes into 27 times 140. You subtract, get a 10, you add the 0, and then 100 divided by 20 equals 5. Look at that. We got the exact same answer. So once again, Jim got 75% of the question correctly on the test. So as you can see, you could do it that way, or as we'll be working more and more, you're going to start using cross multiplication to find different things that are missing in the proportion. Alright, now let's try an example. I want you all to try this in your notebook right now. So, at the grocery store, 5 out of 8 people bought soda. What percent of the people bought soda? First off, I want you to set up the proportion. Part over whole equals percent over 100. I'm not going to tell you the rest, but I want you to bring this to class with you tomorrow and we'll work from there. Alrighty, see you tomorrow, boys and girls.